Welcome back to Unfiltered. Listen, I don't watch woke celebrity award shows. I just don't. But almost everyone, you couldn't get away from it, saw the infamous Will Smith slap at Chris Rock at the Oscars. But, you know, you don't have to let a guy slap you. Could he have safely defended himself? Here to demonstrate a few ways to do just that is world-renowned ground fighter, Brazilian jiu-jitsu instructor. I want to note entrepreneur as well, Rener Gracie. Rener, welcome to the show. Thanks for joining us.
What a pleasure, Dan. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, I'm so glad you did it. So you come from a family of some of the finest fighters in the world, Rener. Your Instagram account is priceless, all the self-defense tips. I'm on it religiously. It's why I thought of you for this clip. So surely, as a self-defense expert, it is not a good approach to keep your hands behind your back and let a man with unknown intent approach you like that. So show our audience what you think they should do if something like this were to happen to them.
Thank you, Dan. It'll be my pleasure. I'm here with my brother, Hiron, and everyone saw the slap. But there might have been like 3 or 4 of your audience members who didn't. So for those who do a quick reenactment of what went down, Chris is on stage. His hands are behind his back. He's telling funny jokes. And Will gets up out of his chair. At this point, Will gets up. He's leaning forward with both hands tucked behind his back. Wow! The slap heard around the world. It lands, and everyone is in shock. And I think Will and Chris both learned their lessons in the aftermath of all this. They both learned something about what went down. We'll save that for a different day. The question is, what can the rest of the world learn about personal safety from this incident? We've analyzed it closely, and we want to share some very priceless tips, we think, for your audience. Starting with this idea, whoever manages the distance manages the damage that can be done in a fight. Rule number 1 in Gracie Jiu-Jitsu. So this idea means that in an altercation, we want to be all the way out or all the way in. There's only 2 safe distances. All the way out means 2 arm lengths away where Hiron can't punch or kick me. We're safely out of his reach, right? Or we want to be all the way in what we call the clinch, because from here I can take him to the ground, I can disengage, and if at the very least he starts throwing strike at me right here, punches or slaps, let's say in this situation, his strikes are going to have minimal effect because he's so close that they're arm strikes. And on a scale from 1 to 10, the punch power scale, these are 1s and 2s, nothing to be worried about. What can never happen is this distance right here, Dan, the 1 arm length distance we call the red zone. Green zone, green zone, red zone. This is the distance that can never be permitted, especially with both hands locked behind your back. So in an actual self-defense situation in our everyday lives, let's say someone is further back right here. If they start to encroach on your personal space, the first thing you have to do is say, hey, don't get any closer. Set a boundary. Put your hands up, get them out from behind your back, assert yourself verbally, and set a boundary. And at this point, we can assess his intentions. If he don't stand still, turns around and walks away, hey, all good. Easy day for him, easy day for me, we're good to go. But if we don't set a boundary, we're never going to know his or her intention. So at this point, if he takes one more step, I have to make a choice. Do I keep backing up to maintain my safe distance of 2 arm lengths? Or, as he steps forward, do I lunge in and close the distance from where I can maybe take him to the ground, end up in a ground control situation, and as he pushes up right here, you guys, if you don't know jiu-jitsu, when you end up on the ground, you're going to sit here and throw a barrage of punches, right? And let's imagine that we break our hand, we break their face. Everybody loses because now the person who was getting attacked becomes the attacker. So instead, as he pushes up on my chest, check it out. We spin and we control the person's arm with our legs and our hips and our wrist controls right here. And in this situation, an armbar from the mount, lesson number 6, Gracie combatives, we have full control, Dan, right here. I can negotiate. I can talk to him. I can apologize for the joke that I made. And now, if it's a law enforcement situation, look, simply turn the hand to the south, bend the leg to the north, come up, hips, walk and talk verbal commands, bring your hand behind your back, please, right? And then we go into our cuffing procedure from here. Dan, what we love most about these concepts, distance management, energy efficiency, the techniques of jiu-jitsu, is that it allows us to fight violence with non-violence. When you preempt the attack with effective distance and effective boundary setting, you can assess someone's intentions. And if push comes to shove, take him to the ground, control the situation. But uniquely to jiu-jitsu is the ability to do all of that without hurting the other person, right? This idea of fighting fire with water. And for this reason, as you know very well from the Secret Service days, this is why Gracie survival tactics is now now pretty much ubiquitous throughout American law enforcement and is being taught to agencies all over the country because it's at a time where they need it more than anyone else in terms of dealing with the public in nonviolent ways. So whether you're a civilian or a law enforcement officer, the best outcome is no fight. But if a fight has to happen, let's find ways to do that that mitigates injuries to both the attacker in this situation and the potential victim.
Rener, I got to run. I have to tell you that may have been the greatest segment to ever air on television. I would love to have you back. Thanks for joining us. Before we go, remember you can catch the Dan Bongino Show every day on Fox Nation. Here's a clip from this week.
What they do, their tactic, is they know that they can't answer the questions. They can't really explain their ideas.